worlds that we haven't yet done, and there are still a few, if you can believe it. And one of the ones that we've been talking about, again, off and on over the years, was opium and an opium den. And we thought this is a great time to do it, so why don't we look into that? Opium in 1903 was legal, and it was fairly prevalent. There were Chinatowns all over North America, and here in Toronto, obviously, there were opium dens.
I need hardly tell you what to do next. Ling, I'll tell you what. Are we prepared?
It was just really interesting every time we deal with a new drug that back then didn't have the stigma that we have about it now. It was an interesting drug that was being discovered, and it's enjoyable to see how the world viewed things differently back then, for better or worse.
Mr. Sutton died between the time he lit that pipe and when he was discovered 1 hour later, dead.
Then it's extremely fast-acting.
He also didn't seize, so we can eliminate strychnine. Hemlock is still an option.
I think we've chatted about opium at different times, as we do with all of the other heroin and laudanum and all the drugs that were freely used legally at that time. So we love to drop that in. This is really odd for a modern audience. We have so many ideas about drugs that didn't exist back then. So I don't think we've ever really touched on the way we do in this.
It's kind of interesting. I had a little bit of an injury last week, and I treated it with this ointment, and I was like, well, you know, this is pretty good stuff. It really works. And I was looking at it, and it was based on TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. Same with the allergy stuff that I take, so I can get through the summers here. You know, there's a lot to it, and it goes back so far. So the fact that we're able to discuss some of that in the show and sort of bring it to light to the mainstream is fun.
When we were talking about this in the writer's room, we all said this is the perfect opportunity for Murdoch and Ogden to smoke opium. Ogden would absolutely smoke opium, right? I mean, she'd be down with that. Murdoch would never. But now that they're married, you like to see a little bit of compromise in their relationship, and you like to see Ogden pulling Murdoch into things that he wouldn't normally do.
I wasn't surprised that Murdoch got to do opium, but it's always surprising when they take us to a place like that. The audience loves it, and it's also I think it's very real for who they are. They're both inquiring minds, and Julia likes to try things new, and she likes to drag Murdoch into them, so it makes sense to me.
I was a little shocked when when it came up in the script. Oh, Murdoch is going to smoke some opium. As he says, you know, well, it's perfectly legal. And, you know, he and Dr. Ogden have indulged in a couple things in the past just for, you know, scientific mind expansion.